What's going on YouTube, it's Filthy, and we're back with another Raid Shadow Legends video. Clearing stage 13 of the Spirit Keep can seem a little tricky. I'm going to show you how to do it, talk about the mechanics. This is whether you're early game player, free to play. I'm going to use some nice champions that I've got, but I'm going to talk through the mechanics. There are plenty of free champions available on a completely free to play budget. Rubbish luck accounts that will get this done. So let's do a run. We'll talk about the mechanics of how the Spirit Boss works, and you'll be able to substitute in champions that you have, and in particular a couple of free ones you can get either from mystery shards or from the campaign. Now I guess we'll just talk briefly. Let's just do the run and we'll talk through it as we go. The waves are generally not a problem, but you do have to watch out for the Crimson Helm here and the Lauria here. Why those two? Well, Crimson Helm will put block damage and provoke, and we're going to try and control the Spirit Boss's turn meter. So we're going to have an Armiger. So in previous accounts I've run through with 2 Armigers. Now if she puts block buffs up like that, block damage, you need to remove it, because otherwise Armiger will just keep taking turns reducing her turn meter and you get like stuck. Okay, so that's the first thing to worry about. Next is the boss heals and regenerates and puts block debuffs on herself like this. That's what makes it so annoying. So you might think, okay, well I'll put a heal reduction buff on her and I'll try and battle her like that as normal. That really is fine, you can absolutely do that. I prefer to just take a turn meter away so she doesn't get a turn. This is kind of how I've always played it. Now, if you do wish to debuff with like decreased defense or decreased speed, meaning that she's weaker or she takes less turns, well, you can certainly do that. You need to strip the block buffs off her first. So my stripper at the moment is Shamrock, obviously legendary champion, you're not going to have him. Got very lucky to get him out of an ancient shard. And our turn meter control is by Armiger. We've also got our Holstrig, again, legendary champion, got lucky to get him. But you don't need him because you can see the work the Armiger's doing there with his A1. So we could replace Holstrig with another Armiger and that'd be absolutely fine. Those two Armigers would do your turn meter control. They also, could be level 40 if you wanted. A little bit tough to build them at that level, so 5-star would help. And then the stripper, instead of Shamrock, we're going to go and grab out of the campaign a Bannerlord who is Conqueror. You can feed multiple copies this guy to himself and he can have a double buff removal on a 2-turn cooldown, which is really nice. He is a bit squishy, but he'll take that buff off the Crimson Helm if she puts it up. He'll take it off the boss, and that is really nice. Now 2 Armigers and a Conqueror, and you can also take yourself a Shield Guard to help clear the waves, because he does AoE wave clear, fills his own turn meter, will then basically be able to do his slam again on the second wave as well. He does decrease speed, which is nice, so once you've taken the block buffs off, a small version of decreased speed will still mean that you'll be able to keep the boss's turn meter down the whole time. Now of course I did have my starter champion Kaelin, who is level 60, he is like fully mastered and skill booked out, but you can just take a little bit longer. A level 50 starter champ, whether it's Gilek, Aethel, Elhain, doesn't matter, any of them will be able to do it, because Kael's real main selling point is poisons. As you probably saw in the footage, the boss doesn't actually take a turn and therefore the poisons don't do any damage. Now you will be able to use this strategy pretty much all the way up to 20. Obviously the waves get tougher, the enemies get more and more difficult, so I guess we'll just try the next stage up. It will of course get slower, and at some point you might find that the Lauria here will block your revive. So if she AoE slams your team, knocks somebody down, then they can't be picked up. I've got Ugo in as a clutch reviver. If the entire team wiped, she could pick up, but obviously if it's blocked and you can't do it. So that's her move there. She does a freeze and it obviously does a decent amount of damage. So we've got Crimson Helm again with the block damage. That's just going to stay there now. It's quite annoying. We can't get rid of it. And it looks like our Holstrig is a little bit too weak to survive this level. And he's been squashed. And Armiger's been squashed. Okay, so I need to work on this team a bit more to do the next stage up. But at least we got 13 done. We could let this run, and theoretically we might still get it. But obviously if we make the Armiger a bit tougher, if we make the Holstrig a bit tougher, because they're only like early characters, it's only level 26, we can get it. But we'll show the mechanics here of just how annoying this boss can be, and how this fight can take ages. Obviously without a decreased attack champion, she does hit quite hard, so again that's somebody else you could move into your team. I tend not to, because again we're going for a strategy of just keeping a turn meter super low, and obviously the 2 turn meter reducers are of course dead. But let's just see, can Hugo clutch this up? Kale might just heal too much, and he might be able to bully his way through it. So I mean, you can do that, but as you see here, the boss is fully healed. She's got the block buffs up, we can't place poisons, so we do have to kind of hope, I guess at this point, that she kills Kale before she kills Ugo, and Ugo has a revive available. But we would just get stuck in this now for forever until she slowly whittles the team down. So that's kind of showing how the mechanics don't work. So let's back out of this, because you're going to get stuck in there. So coming back to the problem, we know Holstrig is going to get wiped, so you can maybe swap him for Taragi the Froggy to do an ally protect. You know, this is kind of like how I'd try and solve it, I guess, on my particular team. And see if that makes a difference, because he does have an AoE provoke. Again, Spirit Host will remove all the debuffs on the team, so it is annoying. This dungeon is annoying to get through the waves until you've got the power to just completely blast your way through. But yeah, obviously 13 is all you need to beat to get the Sacred Shard out of the challenges until your account is a bit tougher. You know, block debuffs is annoying. Obviously we've got enemies putting that on as well, but it looks like everyone's going to make it through to the boss now, because we've actually added a little bit of control with Taragi, so provoke. So another good 2 champions you can take for control for this dungeon would be Greybeard, who is a skinwalker who does an AoE freeze and a provoke, and also Templar, who does a very similar move to the Crimson Helm. He does like an AoE attack, hits 4 times at random with a decent chance of provoke. So this is what I mean about you can get stuck with the Armiger until you strip the buffs. You have to take yourself somebody who strips buffs. So as we say, the Conqueror is a really good champion for this. If you got Sun Wukong in the like logins a while ago, of course he's fantastic at it, but you need somebody to strip this buff, because otherwise you will get stuck. The minions are really annoying. They do stun. Once they're down, the fight should be straightforward, so provided everybody can survive a couple of hits from the boss. Taragi also does decreased attack, so I guess that would potentially be handy, but let's see, will we be fine from this point on? 10 meters reduced, can't place the poisons, ally protect to keep our squishy champions alive, 10 meter reduced again. The block debuffs has either expired or we've removed it. Now, imagine if we had 2 Armigers, we could just completely lock a turn meter out. So I think actually double Armiger would be better than my legendary champion, but hey, it's a legendary, I want to use him. Now Armiger is taking some extra turns. He is in relentless gear, which is nice, and to get those you just have to win tag tournaments. That's probably the easiest one to do, but extra turn chances happen every so often, really will keep the turn meter down. So yeah, I'd be looking to use this kind of team to keep moving forwards, and yeah, stage 13 shouldn't be a problem. This team probably wouldn't be able to do 15 at the moment. It's probably not quite strong enough, but it'll be getting there. So, you know, it'll be knocking on the door. Obviously slow run because it's a new account in the first month, but hopefully this shows the mechanics. Take the turn meter away and the boss won't do you any harm. Right, I hope that was useful. I hope the balls up in the last run actually showed the mechanics and some of the issues and problems, so fingers crossed you found that helpful. Do subscribe if you enjoy Raid Shadow Legends. I'll be back with some more videos soon. Take it easy guys, peace.